Tonight,
from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh,
it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Mason Rudolph and the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, the cold weather certainly helping set the stage for what should be a physical primetime contest at Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup on tap, as it'll be the Buffalo Bills taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tyler Bass about ready to get us going. And with the terrible towels waving wildly, we are underway from Pittsburgh. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a third-round pick back in 2018 out of Oklahoma State. It's Mason Rudolph.
And when Mason Rudolph is on the field, sometimes the scouting reports have to be revised a little bit because often quarterbacks like to throw short to get a rhythm. For Mason Rudolph, he loves the deep fade and he loves the deep post pattern. Anything over the top, those are his favorite shots downfield, and that's what gets him comfortable.
Rudolph going to throw it to start out. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 43. Now run straight ahead with Warren. Up to make the play defensively, Tre'Davious White.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's a 2nd and 5. First carry for Najee Harris. Down the sideline he goes. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 38 yards for Najee Harris. And the Steelers march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. So that a very nice-looking touchdown run.
And on his first carry of the game as well. And you remember, Brandon, we talked to him yesterday, and he thought he was going to have a big game. He thought everything aligned perfectly. He liked what the defense was presenting, and he really liked what he was getting from his blockers.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Well, the Buffalo offense coming out, and it is Josh Allen who is at the helm.
I remember when he came out of Wyoming, the big question mark, could he be accurate enough to be a star in the NFL? I think it's safe to say he's put all of us in our place and put those doubts to rest. He can roll out and run it, He can bomb it over your heads, everything in between. He is an absolute nightmare for defenses to try and prepare for. And when he's on, he's an MVP caliber player each and every time he takes the field.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. Off play action. Allen. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. Now a 2nd and 10. Allen running the option to the left. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away. Here's Austin. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Rudolph. Eluding the press, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. That's Gregory Rousseau getting in there to bring him down.
Well, that's an excellent way to get the pass rush activated. The first sack of the game for them comes on the first play of the drive, and it makes it very tough for the opponent to pick up a 1st down now, playing behind the sticks.
Rudolph looking to throw it. It'll buy some time right. His throw incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. Throw left side, hauled in by Pickens. Despite a pickup of 16, they're still well short of the sticks on 4th. Somebody missed an assignment. He was waving his arms saying, hey, I'm wide open. They found him.
You think? You think? I mean, he was so wide open. Did you see he was just windmilling like he was Don Quixote or somebody out there? And then they found him for a really nice gain.
So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. Here we go on 4th. Rudolph. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 4th down, no problem. 19 yards that time, and now it's 1st and 10.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up, because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Rudolph throwing again. Over the middle, complete. It's Warren. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. On the give, it's Warren. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Here's Rudolph. Nowhere to go here he lost the football. And the Bills have recovered.
I'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but it's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Now Allen. Yeah, they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
That is one heck of a catch right there. Got his eye on it the whole way and able to make the grab one-handed. Very nicely done, and for a nice chunk of yardage, too.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Going with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Allen will try again on second down. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now Austin. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Rudolph on first down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Ed Oliver, that time, the one to get in there and bring him down.
Well, at least it wasn't a turnover like the last drive. You'd think they'd make an adjustment and be ready to make up for that turnover. Instead, just another big play for the defense on that snap.
After the sack, oh, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Rudolph. Dancing to his left. He got him a big chunk of that yardage back, but even with that effort, it'll still be 3rd and long.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. And the catch made by Johnson. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard strike. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
They'll try and run for it. And nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped behind the line. He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Bills are going to get the football back. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
Meanwhile, Allen's throw going to be caught by Davis. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down at the 2. So close. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 60 yards.
Oh, man. Disappointment that he couldn't finish that off in the end zone. What an effort there. Doing all he can to get to the pylon. And he's going to wind up out of bounds just short. But a huge play there. Going to set him up with 1st and goal from very short range.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. To the air, Allen. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. T.J. Watt. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Now Allen throwing on 2nd down. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
The Bills on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Play action. Now it's Allen. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Steeler defense will celebrate the goal line stand. Now, that was an intriguing call. You got a chip shot field goal. Tight game. Why not just take the 3?
I know that not all the old rules apply in today's NFL, and in fact, I'd love to have an analytics coach here with us right now to say why that was probably a good play. I don't know that even the analytics coach would have said that. That seemed like a bad play. Take the points there and move on. Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
2nd and 10. Back to throw, Rudolph. On the move to his left. Rudolph loses the football. It's out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line.
All the practice, all the training, all the meetings. In this situation, I know exactly what quarterbacks are taught. Take care of the football. That's job 1 paramount. Because you cough it up here, you might be giving up 6 points real easy.
Tip of the cap to the defense, though, forcing the fumble. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. They got the ball in great field position after the fumble, but this defense tried to stand tall.
They certainly are, and a lot of times after you pick up a fumble or get an interception, you have momentum on your side. You kind of walk through a defense and score. Not so fast, not in this case.
He's got it. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. 3 yards is the gain that time. 2nd and goal.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Allen looks to throw on 2nd down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off the drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. To throw, it's Allen. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Now Allen again. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. He couldn't get the ball away on 4th and goal. And the Steeler D will celebrate the goal line stand. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
A handoff for Warren. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
Now Rudolph on 1st down. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
I don't care what level of football you played. This one was a universal, wasn't it? When we were kids and we played touch football, remember we get in these positions and you just say, everybody go along, and hope someone would come free.
On 1st down, it's Rudolph. Flush. Rudolph loses the football. It's out. Now this is picked up. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And this is going to be brought back for a Bills touchdown. And give, I think here they bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And we are tied at 7. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. And now out come the Steelers.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. Johnson's got it complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
Here comes a first down throw from Rudolph. And incomplete. George Pickens, his intended receiver there, but it's going to be second down.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
On the run, it's Warren. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They'll fake it. Now Rudolph. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Leonard Floyd, the old Georgia Bulldog, finding his way into the backfield. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Rudolph looking to throw. Got his man. It's Warren. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for third.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Rudolph on third down. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 20-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the first down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Now a first down carry for Harris. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. Tackle made there by Matt Milano.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Rudolph. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. And the Bills are going to take over here up near the 40. great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst, a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows the defense to tighten up their coverage, and they picked that one off.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Allen to throw it. And complete right side to Cook. Uses the spin. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Allen to throw once more. And bringing it in, it's Davis. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 21. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers are going to take over at their own 2-yard line.
Partner, there's no other way you could describe it because that was absolutely just gut-wrenching for that offense. They were right on the precipice. Points were available. All they had to do was just fall forward, and they were going to put them up on the board. Instead, a long drive ends in heartbreak and a melancholy trip back to the drawing board. How you like it when I go a little bit lyrical for you?
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And from here, might not be able to take a knee. Might need to run a play here that's close to their goal line. They'll roll him out right. Here's one deep for Pickens. And this one is incomplete. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, BG, thanks very much. And welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Set and ready to go for the second half. One touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Bills offense set to take over to begin quarter number 3. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us. Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
They go with the empty set there. 5 receivers in the formation. Normally, you want to have a running back in to block, but in this case, he's lined up to the right, and he ends up getting the football. A lot of confusion calls defensively, and it turns into a big play.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Allen. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice.
Into a sea of defenders have intercepted. Picked off by DeMonte Kazin. And the Steelers are going to get it back here just past the 35. First possession of the half-tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
After the interception, here's Rudolph. Rudolph loses the football. It's out. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Let's go, team. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
They'll run it. Warren. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Here is 3rd and quite a ways. Rudolph now to throw. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he's going to be taken to the ground right there at the 35-yard line. Now, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And how about this, a fake? And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. I know, without even asking, without even looking in your direction, that you are not a fan of that call.
Oh, I wish you would look, Brandon, because I was actually thinking this would be the perfect time for a fake.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. This deep in your own territory, look, I'm all for being unconventional. That part's cool, and I get it. But this deep, I just don't think it was the right time to make that call.
On first down, Allen. And that's going to be incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Allen now looks to throw. And that is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Looking on the out route, he finds Shakir. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. He'll dump this off to Cook. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
That's a great job of tackling right there. If he could have made the first man miss, maybe he could have taken it into the end zone. Instead, they stopped him pretty well right in his tracks, and you often see that in the red zone. Offense has to be quick. In this case, the defense was quicker.
5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose, and boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Allen now on 3rd and goal. This is caught. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So they're going for it, and here's Allen. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They try to throw on 4th and goal from the 2, and the Steeler defense will celebrate the goal line stand. And you wonder, Charles, could that decision come back to haunt them later?
And it really could, because in this situation, you kick the field goal in a tight game like this, that's a good play.
Yeah.
But maybe what he's saying to himself is, I'm just not a big proponent of the old idea that any possession that ends in a kick I'm happy with. He wanted to be really aggressive.
A little twist here in the 3rd quarter. Harris starts the drive on the ground, and he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that if they have to pump the ball, they've done so with that first run.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Rudolph from his goal line here. And this is going to wind up a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
So we race the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
They'll try the right side with Harris. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now Rudolph. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the first down.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Here's Rudolph. A short one there to Fryermuth. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A Steeler first down on a pickup of 11 yards.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down. In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. Back to the air, Rudolph. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And in for the Steelers, touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 31 yards. And the Steelers have retaken a third-quarter lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Extra point put through by Boswell, and the lead is up to 5. So that drives 7 plays in length. And in the end, it was Deontay Johnson's touchdown catch to cap the drive. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Escapes the defender. And able to get this out to the 25. The Bills getting set to go. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time, but you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence, not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. On second down, here's Allen. And that nearly intercepted. It's incomplete. Now, remember, he had a pick earlier, but couldn't reel that one in.
And that's another throw that could have been intercepted. Part of this, you credit the defense. They've been really stingy. But he's also made some really questionable throws, and that's another one right there.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Good clean play, no flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They do go for it. Here's Allen. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. Take a look at Deontay Johnson as this offense runs back out. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Harris running straight ahead. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You talking about the little guy back
Tiny.
there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space.
Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. And the Bills are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
So after the INT, it's Allen. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Allen. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. And this is Cook with a grab. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
And it appears the offense is going to try this again. They've yet to convert the first 3 times on 4th down, but they're going once more. And Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and it's 2nd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. They hand this off to Harris, and nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 44 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing. Because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
They sure went against conventional wisdom, calling a pass on 3rd and inches.
Had to be thinking to themselves, the defense is going to overcommit against the run. Should be an easy pitch and catch. Didn't turn out that way.
On 4th down, Rudolph. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Bills are going to get the football back. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call, and the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up, but also
down the numbers. There he goes. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Allen. And his throw's going to be incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 43. A strong pickup of 11 keeps their drive alive.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too. Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
And again, it's Allen. He's got this one complete to Sherfield. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 23. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now Allen throwing on 2nd down. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Stephon Diggs. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Bills put together a fourth quarter drive to take the lead.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
And no, incomplete. They can't convert. So they tried to bump the lead up to a field goal. Instead, it stays at 1 here in the fourth.
I think we can figure out why they went for 2 there, right? Up 1. You want to make it a field goal difference if at all possible. They didn't get it. Now they've got to play some defense down the stretch.
Yeah, not much margin for error now for your D. They just have to get it into range. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. Rudolph's throw complete there to Johnson. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Yeah, that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Gregory Rousseau works his way in for the stop and the loss.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Rudolph looking to throw it. This is caught by Robinson. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage. Got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride. And he was able to run free after the catch.
On the give, this is Harris. Down to about the 37.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
On 2nd down, here's Rudolph. He finds his man, complete. That's Warren. Only able to gain a couple there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 67 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
I was used to joke with my teammates who carried the ball a lot. When we got in these situations and they were carrying us home, I used to tell them, boy, you guys just look like Paul Bunyan, just growing stronger, bigger, tougher. And all night long, he's carried this team.
He has indeed. Everything magnified right now. A huge 3rd down conversion. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Now a run with Warren.
And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Jalen Warren,
A 3-yard touchdown run.
and the Steelers answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead.
And this is the time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with the touchdown run to take the lead.
So a big play now as the Steelers will go for 2. They'll look to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde.
Well, as most teams do in their 2-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you get a chance to take it all the way back, get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case here. That's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside. And this one travels out of bounds, so unsuccessful there on the onside kick try.
So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Throwing on 1st down is Allen. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Trent Sherfield, 32 yards.
And the Bills have taken a 4th quarter lead. Plenty of scoring here of late, and our lead changes hands now in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they just gave up a touchdown the other end, so they knew that with time getting short, they had to put something together here, and they were able to do so and retake the lead right back.
Allen will try to throw for it, and this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Rudolph's throw complete to Freiermuth.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On second down, 2-yard line here and brought down there.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10.
Here's Rudolph. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Ed Oliver in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
Rudolph.
That's to Freiermuth. And this defense needing a stop here. Got to have it. 3rd and 9. Throwing here, Rudolph.
Flushed out right. And to the 46 he goes and no further. So he is well short of the 1st down marker.
Too far for a field goal. They've got to go. It's 4th down. Rudolph. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he's got this down to the 35.
Here's 1st down.
And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go.
Two timeouts still in their back pocket. It's 1st and 10. Now Rudolph. That's caught by Johnson. And he is going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
Rudolph now to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football.
And now this ball picked up by the offense. But here in the final 2 minutes of the game, this will be blown dead. Only the fumbler can advance the football. So this will go back to the spot of the fumble itself.
And they will get the timeout. So 3 seconds remaining. And they can trot out the field goal unit and try to send this one to overtime. So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. With 3 seconds to go, if it's good, we're off to overtime. And his kick here is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
So the Bills going to be the first to get it as we are back underway here in overtime. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And now out come the Bills. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's Allen.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
Now, that's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
On play action, Allen. That will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Oh, and it's intercepted.
And the Steelers are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. He had the interception woes in regulation, and now they carry over into overtime. And on the other side, CD, all they need is a field goal to win it.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Brandon, because he has not been sharp all game long. He's been rather loose with some of his passes, and this one might call.
There he goes left side. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
73 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, fifth defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school at one of my...
And this will be caught. Touchdown. They needed overtime to get it done, but put this one in the win column.
So it's a win here for the Steelers, and it was all thanks to the play of their veteran quarterback.
Yeah, some of these DBs are going to be tossing and turning tonight, partner. He really had their number. Wound up with well over 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns to boot.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.